headlines for this week's edition: as new buildings projects are increasingly adopting glazing as part of the architecture, we see how this technique is becoming part of the Mauritian skyline, making every event a success. That's what clients, be corporate or private, look for. And it involves image marketing, and that's where Focus Events Limited on the Mauritian market is providing a service by professionals in the field of cinematography and photography.
The use of lots of glasses in modern building. This is a trend not only in Mauritius but across the world. Apart from its aesthetic look, experts say it's also energy efficient and eco-friendly. Tempered glass, laminated glass or toughened glass, you name it, the products vary according to design and architecture. And today we're going to meet Aluminium Glazing Industries, which is a major supplier on the market. It is planning to expand its activities and planning to set up a manufacturing plant in Mauritius. So let's go and meet the people there. Mr. Vicky, so you are the director of AGI Mauritius.
Exactly.
And you've been in this business since quite long, but we want to know about your company more. Please tell us about it.
AGI Mauritius has been incorporated in 2003, and we are dealing in glass distribution in Mauritius since for 16 years. We started like with normal clear laminated glass, and nowadays, you know, the trend has changed. People are looking for performance glass for buildings, for their houses, so that these glasses can save energy on their houses or buildings.
Now, you've been talking about your company being in Mauritius since the past 16 years. What has been your contribution in the construction sector, especially in this field?
You know, we got a good supplier in South Africa. He has some good brands of glasses which can reduce the heat entering the building by more than 40%. Some glasses can achieve more than 60% or more. So we want to take part also with the, you know, there is environmental sustainability, and these glasses can bring in to reduce the energy usage in a building.
How do you see the future of construction in Mauritius, especially using new architecture?
You know, construction in Mauritius is very, for me, it's quite good because of the smart cities. We've got lots of projects with these smart cities. And nowadays also, if you look at a building, years ago, there was lots of concrete, but nowadays you'll see only glasses on the full body of the building. There's more glass than the concrete.
You've been talking about sustainability, but what more does it bring to the landscape of Mauritius?
We are trying to match the concept of green building. So these glasses, they do a very good performance. They achieve efficiency, okay, and it will like match with the green building concept. Yeah.
You've been in this industry since 16 years, you
Yes.
said. So what's the evolution of the demand, and how are you doing to match the demand and supply?
As I said earlier, you know, people long ago, glass was just like a glass in a window, but nowadays the product has innovated. In one glass, you can have the safety, you can have the performance, and even it can reduce the sound also. Long ago, you need to do some double glazing, put two glass and have it thick, and you have the risk of condensation in double glazing. But nowadays, in one glass, things have innovated, and you can have all the three properties in one glass.
Mr. Paul Buckley, so we're talking about glazing, and when we talk about glass, there's been an evolution, and particularly for Mauritius, which is cyclone prone, glass sometimes can be scary, but we see more and more people are getting used to it because there are new products coming. You're from Oriel Glass from the UK, and tell us what new are you presenting in Mauritius?
Well, we're looking to introduce manufacturing on the island. It's something that hasn't been done before. We're looking to be the first company to have a toughening plant. Toughened glass is already existing in buildings on the island, but it's all imported in from various countries. We're looking to manufacture toughened glass ourselves, thus offer a bespoke product rather than standard sizes, and increase the lead time also. At the moment, if people are looking for tempered glass replacement, they could be looking for up to 4 to 6 weeks before it comes in. We could probably turn that around in 3 or 4 days here.
So you want to have a manufacturing plant in Mauritius. Why choose Mauritius?
Well, we're already on the ground, as Vicky described earlier. We're already on the ground in Mauritius. To take it to another level, we want to start manufacturing. We already bring the product in. We could add value to the product in Mauritius, create more jobs, offering more high-value products to the construction industry.
Now, to produce those kind of glasses, you will need specific machinery and also trained personnel. How do you get that?
Well, I've been in the industry. I know AGI Mauritius has been in existence for 16 years. I've been in the industry since I was 16, which is far too many years than I care to count. So I've got a lot of experience personally in the manufacture of toughened glass. I've also got the knowledge of the machines that we need. So we already know what we need to put down. We just need to find the right location. And we're going to do, over the next couple of months, we're going to do a feasibility study and make sure that what we're looking to invest into this country is actually going to be warranted.
Mm. So have you got some kind of samples which you are going to present to Mauritians and to see what they can expect from your company bringing in Mauritius?
Sure. Already, as I said earlier, toughened glass already exists. Laminated toughened glass already exists. We're looking to manufacture that here. You asked earlier about, or you mentioned earlier about the cyclones. We're looking to produce a product, a laminated toughened glass, that will, if a cyclone comes, the glass will still be intact. And then it's up to the frame manufacturers and the other builders to make sure they can find a product strong enough to hold the glass. Mm-hmm. Another product we're looking to introduce is a Venetian blind, which is in between a double glazed unit. I have a sample of it here if you'd like to see it.
Yes.
Okay. This is hopefully a new concept to Mauritius. It's a standard double glazed unit. As I said, inside we have a Venetian blind. When I raise and lower the blind, you'll see that the blind they're all different colors. That's just for sample purposes. So the raising and lowering mechanism is on the right-hand side, which opens, raises and lowers the blind. And to close and open, we just do a simple mechanism like that. As I said, no cleaning, no dust. For doors that open, windows that are open all the time, and if there's wind coming through, the blinds, people's blinds will be blowing all over the place. With this, you don't get anything like that. As I said, it's a very simple operation. The controls are on each side of the unit. You can raise and lower by pushing up and down the right-hand control, or you can open and close the blind by using the left-hand control. If you want a blind that will just open and close, the control will go on the bottom and will operate that way. This blind will actually raise and lower. It's available in various colors, as you can see, which are all very contemporary also. Okay?
That's made in UK.
It's assembled in the UK. The blind itself comes from Israel.
Okay.
And then
the frame.
It would be shipped here directly, and then everything else would be made here.
Yeah.
Tested and made here.
Brandon Samuels, so we're talking about glazing in the construction industry in Mauritius, and you're from PFG. You've been in this business, and tell us, what is the evolution of the demand for these kinds of products here in Mauritius and also in the world?
From a PFG building glass perspective, main manufacturers of float glass, the evolution of glazing has come a long way from back in the day. People want more cladding around a building, which is high performance glazing, which means that you get a lot more visible light coming into a building, which creates a much more emotional condition for workers, and they don't occupy a building that is dark. So from that perspective, people want a lot more glass around the building instead of too much mortar and brickwork.
You've been talking about the trend now in this industry, and how do you see the new technologies being part of this industry in the construction field in Mauritius?
There's various performance glasses that you get that's got a coating on the glass. So what this means is it reflects a lot of the solar energy away from a building. So allowing less heat coming into a building, and from that perspective you can use less energy in air conditioners to create a more comfortable environment for all people in a building.
So Brendan Samuels, have architects and builders developed norms regarding glazing in the construction sector?
Definitely. There's been a lot of big movement around the world. As energy becomes less and less in the world, there's been norms and standards created across Europe, even in South Africa, to comply to energy efficiency in buildings. So the end goal is to create more smart buildings, energy efficient buildings, and less consumption of energy.
Brendan Samuels, we know that Mauritius is very prone to cyclones, and when we see the big buildings here in Mauritius, glasses everywhere, and people sometimes are scared when we talk about cyclones. So how can we secure the people who are actually living in the buildings or working in the buildings?
There's a lot of technology that can be used, especially laminated glass is your preferred route to take. Depending on the different layers of this makeup of laminated glass, you can actually prevent projectiles from a hurricane penetrating through the windows and damaging people inside of the building. So in essence, it stops high velocity projectiles from penetrating through the window by having a polyvinyl butyl interlayer in between two pieces of glass.
William O'Leary, you're from Oriole, UK. Your company in glazing, and you're investing in Mauritius. So please tell us about the investment you've made in Mauritius.
Oriole is a UK-based company. We've got operations around the world. We're a mini global company. We have a couple of operations in the UK, one in Germany, representation in South Africa, and of course we invested in Mauritius. Mauritius we see as one of the really great countries of Africa. It's part of SADC, and we see great growth potential here in the country. You've got a thriving economy, great democracy, and as Vicky has said, we've been invested here for 16 years, seen tremendous growth, and we see great opportunities going forward.
Now, how have you seen the demand evolve since you've been here? You said 16 years ago until now. What is the status of demand in Mauritius?
Yeah, when we started in a tiny little factory. In fact, we couldn't even keep our glass inside the factory. We had to store it outside in the rain. Over time, we moved into our own factory in La Touconique, and since then we've moved here to Pai, and the growth has been tremendous. We've been well supported by the customers. We've given them good service, and we're now ready for the next level, where we can make perhaps another investment into machinery that will further enhance the glazing opportunities here on the island.
You're talking about another level. Does that mean you want to expand more in this sector here in Mauritius?
Definitely, and not just in Mauritius either. We'd like to expand into the neighbouring Indian Ocean islands such as Reunion, Madagascar, and the surrounds.
So you're planning to expand here in Mauritius. What impact will it have on the job creation, also on the personnel here in Mauritius?
Well, we started with just really a handful of people. At the moment, we employ about 20 people, and if we invest further in a plant, we're looking at probably about another 5-6 jobs being created, and that's within the short term. And long term, we would like to grow further and obviously employ more local people as well.
William O'Leary, how do you see the future of glazing in the construction sector in Mauritius?
The future is bright because your economy is growing, buildings are growing, the tourism industry is growing, hotels are always going through refurbishments. Glass is a commodity that can be used in a number of different fields, not just construction. Things like fridges, tabletops, and so on and so forth. There are so many applications of glass, and we really see a growth potential there.
In focus also this week on international level, Saudi Arabia opens its borders to foreign tourists and will issue visa regime for 49 countries. Saudi Arabia will open its doors to international tourists for the first time as part of a broader push to cut its economic dependence on oil. The kingdom will launch a visa regime for 49 countries and relax strict dress codes for female visitors. Tourism Minister Ahmad Al-Khatib described it as a historic moment for the country. Visas have until now largely been restricted to pilgrims, business people and expatriate workers. Saudi Arabia is also hoping to secure foreign investment in the tourism industry. It wants tourists to rise from 3% to 10% of gross domestic product by 2030. China's President Xi Jinping has officially opened Beijing's massive new Daxing Airport, a facility that is expected to quickly become one of the busiest in the world. Xi called the new airport a powerful source of national development. Beijing Daxing Airport code PKX is designed to handle 72 million passengers annually. The centerpiece of the new Daxing Airport is a star-shaped terminal designed by Zaha Hadid Architects. The 7.5 million square foot terminal plus the more than 860,000 square foot ground transportation center has 79 contact gates and will boost hubs for both China Eastern Airlines and China Southern Airlines.
Making a business out of your passion, promoting innovation and carving the way for youngsters towards a bright professional career. This is the glimpse of videography and photography at Focus Events Limited. And today in this edition of Business Connect, we will know more about this world through the eyes of Dilesh Sharma, the manager of Focus Events Limited. Hello Dilesh.
Hello.
So to start with, tell us about Focus Events Limited.
Focus Events Limited started as a simple idea in the early 2008. It was on the verge of the entry of the social media in Mauritius, and youngsters were getting interested in doing more and more photography. At a certain time, photography was a little bit dormant in Mauritius. I'm talking about the Kodak age, where the film, the negatives. Then we got into that digital age. It was a little bit more accessible to young people to have a digital camera. And of course, with the demand of digital camera came also the demand of digital photography as a study. So we had the idea of proposing simple courses. We registered ourselves with the MQA, and later on the company got incorporated. And today we are a full-fledged running company as two branches. One is training center and the second is photography and videography services.
Talking about cinematography and videography, what is the demand of the market? Or to say, what is the demand of clients? Because we know that clients are very much exposed to different ideas, be it from the national or international level. So let's talk about that.
We need to understand that we are living in a digital age. Information goes very fast, be it a personal, local, regional or international information is easily available using our cell phone or computers. The demand is quite related to the speedy information which goes around, be it for a personal client, for a personal demand, whereas for a wedding, engagement, birthday parties, family meetings, clients want to have the final work very rapidly. delivery is very important. Most of the time, photographers and videographers are looked down upon people taking a lot of time to deliver the work. This is what I wanted to put together with my team, that as a company, we have some certain standards that we want to follow, providing also after-sales services in a service providing company. That is, at any time, the client can come and say that I want this part to be edited, I want that part to be removed, I want this specific song in my engagement, I want a specific color in the name, in the graphics. So these are quite some demands nowadays, which Focus is fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
A second, if we talk about a business world, the essence of business is communication. And communication today turns around visuals, be it photo or video. With the introduction of commercial social media pages, we have an increasing demand of people willing to have photos and videos at a very professional level, still keeping a very good market price for their startups or already well-settled businesses.
You just talk about services which Focus Events Limited offers. Let's talk about those services. What are the type of services that you offer, you provide?
At the very baseline, we provide photo services and video services. As we are in the field of graphic, we also provide animated videos, 3D videos, graphic designing, the creation of logos, web designing, and other related services.
What do you need to do to stay up class or to face the fierce competition in the market?
First of all, at Focus Events Limited, we put a lot of effort in human. Human factor is very important. We can have the best camera in the world, but we need to have a very skillful person behind the camera operating it. It is very important for us to have the right person at the right place when we deal about photography and videography. It reflects our aim and objective of our training center. We make sure that we have the correct studies, the right skill before taking anybody on board at Focus Events Limited.
And do your students get a placement or job offers once they've completed, or they're still completing their training at your training center?
Initially, we didn't have any placement. We were a bit young on the market, and sister companies didn't know about us. After 5 years of operation and above, we have been getting phone calls from leisure parks, from hotels, and from media companies to firstly prepare some special tailor-made courses for them, to train their photographers, and also the opportunity to send students of Focus at their place to work and to learn on-field experience. This has been a shining point for Focus Events Limited, where now we can assure students, if they are willing to, at a very serious note, to take photography as a professional career, as a professional step. After following their course, we will guide them, we will redirect them to people, to recruiting companies where they can step in this professional career in the world of photography.
How do you do your follow-up with your students once they've already completed their training course?
We are a training center registered with the MQA. Unfortunately, at our level, we can only provide certificate level courses. We have been getting many requests from our students who have followed the course to have advanced courses or diploma courses and degree courses. I must say that the management is working on this. But presently, we are providing a top-up course, still certificate level, but anyone who wish to continue and to learn more about photography, we have tailor-made courses for them, be it in a small group or a large group. And we have also started to give courses about editing pictures.
And my last question would be, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years from now on?
We plan to have a green screen or chroma key studio where we will give training about how to use this very fascinating technology, where we have seen different blockbusters like Transformers, Avengers, or even Bollywood Bahubali being shot on these kind of techniques. Why not bring this technique to our young photography and videography lovers in Mauritius? So this is what we have in the pipeline for the coming years.
So this is it for this edition of Business Connect. I hope that you liked the various reports presented to you. As for me, I'll sign off from here, but in the meantime, do catch us up on our Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, as well on the MBC channels. Until next time, this is goodbye from the whole crew of Business Connect.